Hey there. Welcome to the veritable edge of Western civilization, Venice Beach, California. Today is sometime in December. The 19th. It's the 19th of December. Today's Friday. This is show number 130. 130 shows. Wow. Who would have thunk? Anyway, what's happening? It's been raining here wonderfully all week, for the most part. I think this is only the second show I've done this week. Got a lot done during the off time. I bought some paint. Made it to the paint store. Local color here in LA. They make some magnificent. Hello.
Hi.
Local color. Look at that. I splurged on 2 different kinds of gold and 2 different phthalo blues. This is a really bright gold.
Expiring date of paint.
Isn't it? Of course, every day is an inspiring day of paint, so yeah. You know, at this point,
Yeah.
it's like,
I love the sunsets this time of year though. The clouds are always like blue.
yeah. Yeah, I like the sunsets anytime I can get them, you know. I don't get spoiled with sunsets. I can be I'm not really a sunset snob.
Oh, okay. Right, fair enough. Anyone you get to see is pretty special.
Yeah, man.
I like your office location.
Me too. I feel pretty blessed. And I really like this top you got on you. It looks really good, and you're very well coordinated and everything. Looks like you have your stuff. Really? Well, I'd like to see what happens when you kind of tip off the neutral point. This is pretty. You think you need to wear more color?
Yeah.
Really?
Like
What would it be? Rainbow. But of course. What's your name? David? No, it's David. So do I get to see you in rainbow?
Well, not right now.
Right. No, I mean, are you living around here?
Yeah.
Cool. So I'd like to see your version of rainbow. Yeah. Excellent. Look forward to it. We'll do a test.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Crazy.
Awesome.
So, have you checked out the work before?
I've walked by.
Right. Hey, you see this?
Oh my God.
Isn't it crazy?
Wow.
Yeah, that was this lucky photograph I took of Boulder, Colorado. Thanksgiving. The sunset out here on Thanksgiving.
Oh, look at those harvest oranges.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Isn't it? Yeah, easily. That's why I was late for dinner. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, the other one I want to show you.
Oh wow.
Isn't it crazy?
That is wild on a lot of different levels.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Very cool.
You know what it is?
I can kind of see like a collar and a shirt or something. Yeah.
Morning glories. Off that path there.
No way.
Wait.
Is it just super close up? How
Yeah.
do you do that?
Yeah. I took it with my phone. Yeah. You know, I run down this path every day, and there's right by the bus. There's morning glories going over the fence, and so they're right at eye level. You know, so yeah, crazy.
Oh, now I see.
Yeah.
Wow, the lights.
It's only taken about 4 months for me to get them in print, but I just had print screen yesterday. And yeah, I'm really excited about that piece. I've known that I've had that piece is sitting there. It's like, you can't make prints another day without making this one. Getting
That's
this one
awesome.
in. Yeah.
That looks very
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make that the feature of my 2015 display.
Yeah, sure.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, that's an awesome color. Well, you'll see us around. He is skateboard
Not friendly.
scared,
Yeah.
unfriendly.
Yeah.
So,
Most dogs are.
This is desensitization. So he's in training.
Yeah. Do you go stand down by the skate park and?
This is his 3rd day, so been sensory overload. But
Yeah.
this
Well,
is
you
the
picked
first
a good
day.
day because it's there's not a whole lot going on the boardwalk.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like he's
Yeah.
jumping up into my arms and just worked out.
Right. What's your name again?
Brooke.
Brooke.
And you're David.
I am. And you can follow me on Instagram.
English or
What?
the English?
My last name. My ancestors. Yep. All right. Yep. Okay. So. Golden gold. This is the royal gold. Yeah, that's really nice. Guess looks like. Oh, I wanted to show you. What I showed her. Well, you can only see the reflection of the plant. Oh well. So this was the sunset on Thanksgiving. It doesn't do it any kind of justice. The video, I'm looking at it, I can see it, and it doesn't look anything. I mean, it is a real person. But let me see if I can find the other one. Here we go. That's the morning glories. I love this piece. So, there's a lot happened. The Christians here for some reason on Friday, but maybe because it rained yesterday and they didn't come out. What else is happening? There's that thing I can't tell you about. Pretty friggin' coming to the end. All right, I can tell you this part. It's a documentary, and I'm a couple of days away from releasing it. And yesterday I shot a promo video here to send an email. And right as I was, it's kind of a is the content story behind the video, and you'll understand next week when it's out. So right as I was, trying to film this using my iPhone, me just explaining why I was called to do this documentary. Right in the direction, I was out here and I was looking that way, and there was a friggin' rainbow right in front of where I'm doing the I guess if I hadn't been standing there with my phone, the camera, I wouldn't have seen the rainbow. It was perfect. So there's signs in the sky. There's signs. It's a blessing, I tell you. All that. So it's probably gonna see a little color test here and see if this makes a difference. I know it makes a difference to me. Oh yeah, it's a brighter, definitely a brighter. Wonderful. Excellent. So we're going to go over all this stuff, but I want to finish the piece first, and then we'll go over the middle part. But let's try this other. That totally stands out. Yeah, you can see how it pops out a lot better, a lot tighter. So one of the things that you may not be aware of, you're probably not, is, and you probably, if you've been watching it all, you may have heard me say this before, that I paint for exhibition, and that I have an artist group with my partner, Ryan Mitchell, in the artist group. And, worked out is that the paintings get exhibited with programmable LED lights that run through 17 million colors. And one of the reasons it turns out that for years I felt really guilty about painting gold and blue, so many gold and blue paintings, even though it's the color combination is my personal favorite. But, at some point I would, paint a red painting or a green painting, just to change it up a little bit, and because I felt so guilty. But when Ryan and I first met, I was doing a live painting at a friend's house as a fundraiser. She was holding a fundraiser to help pay her mortgage at her house, and Ryan was there doing a light installation, and his programmable LED lights got onto my got splashed on my paintings, and it was definitely one of those Reese's Pieces moments where your chocolate is in my peanut butter kind of thing. And we both stood there and marveled at it for about an hour and a half and knew we had to work together after that. And so our first exhibition was using these elements the programmable LED lights and projected onto the sacred paintings. And so it turned out that gold and blue is the best color combination to for that process. It's the best color combination to accent that whole process of 10 through 17 million colors in 8.5 seconds, which works out to be 7 times a minute. Which, you know, the purpose of that is to stimulate the brain to accent the theta brain pattern, which is in a harmonic 7. It's the 7 cycles per second. So we did that as an experiment, and it worked. People were seriously tripping on what we were doing, and literally tripping. In an organic way, not in a drug-induced way, but so luckily for me, for years I had been painting gold and blue. It wasn't until we did our experiments we found that gold and blue is the best combination to accentuate the mood. Variation in color of the color spectrum in not reflection, but yeah, well, I guess it is reflection. 15 million colors. So it's like the universe has been using me on these series of things. Now I just enough I've come to realize what my mission is. Has always been since before I was born, and you know, this lifetime as doing this series. It's attempting engineer business, and how that works is there are, you know, like I said, in this series of sacred geometry paintings, there are over 1,000 images, and or not 1,000 images, 1,000 paintings, and documentary project I was working on yesterday. This is the first 600 of those paintings I released in 2007. And in working on this documentary, I actually went through working on the documentary that I'm working on currently. I had to go through that archive of since the DVD came out, since the published DVD in 2007, and it turned out somehow the way I put them all in a file called the next Things movie, you know, and so I open up the file. And I'm like, what's the next Sacred Geometry Paintings movie, David? And I went through it, and I had no idea how many images that I had. So, you know, I will paint, and then in the process of painting the piece, I'll take a photograph, and then I'll paint some more, and then I'll take another photograph. And one of the things I discovered in doing the first movie, you know, the Sacred Geometry Paintings movie, was that when you put those photographs together, you get you have a time-lapse sequence. You have an animation, you know? And so now I'm really excited to move forward, because this documentary series that I'm doing right now is I mean, this documentary that I'm working on releasing in the next week or so, in that process, I've learned, I'm using Adobe Premiere Pro, CS5, Creative Suite 5, which is the first, all of my movies up until this one, I've used Adobe Premiere, whatever their cheapo version of it is. I used point one, the first iteration of that program. And some of my friends kind of laughed at me because I didn't know any better. I was just, glad to be able to make a movie with whatever I had. And I hadn't really given thought to the fact that, they're now on, they don't even, you can't even, Adobe is now in the Creative Cloud business, so they don't sell their hardware anymore. You have to get their hardware like secondhand, and their software secondhand, and so anyway, they've gone a tad from their first iteration. And that's what I learned how to use, which is really good. But, there was this definite learning curve in using this more recent Creative Suite Adobe Premiere Pro. In doing that, the learning curve, I had to learn some things that were pretty easy in the first, in my first movie making experiences. But, definitely had to relearn some things, how to use this program. It's a lot fancier and all this sort of stuff. But now I've learned them, like how to take a still photograph and set it into motion. How to zoom in and you take a still photograph, you put it in the timeline, and then how do you make that photograph animate? How do you make it move? How do you zoom into it? How do you draw back out of it? How do you pan and zoom and all that kind of stuff? And it's not as simple as the first, they made it better and friggin' more complicated. But through this most recent documentary project, I'm had to learn how to do that, and now I can apply what I've learned to do the next video paintings movie. And okay, but I was actually thinking about it just before. This is one of the things that I love about what I do in the life I get to live, and why I'm just in appreciation. Appreciation, by the way, has come my meditation since last weekend, and I got a message that I needed to focus on, and you can't go wrong with that. You know what I mean? And in the process, I've learned that there's the idea. Oh, we got 42%, and it's 21. Hello. Life is good. Just take a photograph of that. Yeah. There I am. Thank you. It's 4:18. I need to put my new favorites up there. Check these out. Wow.
Yeah, those are
Awesome. Here, this is a new one too. I do live stream usually around 3 o'clock. So you're on camera. Buckley.
Oh, hi.
Does your mother know where you are?
Oh, yes.
Excellent.
Always.
Excellent.
She doesn't always love where she knows it.
I hear that. I hear that.
How much are these pieces? This is different.
Right. These are 120.
Okay.
Those are 20
Okay.
in the frame. And these are 10 a piece or 2 for 15.
Okay. Thank you.
You are entirely welcome. So, what was I blabbering about? Appreciation. So, one of the things that I've been learning about appreciation is this came I was looking up this morning, meditation time, anyway. Is that the idea of creating a field around us of appreciation, gratitude, and compassion. That when we make that focus, you know, what's going to happen, right? Hi there. Yes. Yeah, so I'm really excited about releasing this movie, and I realized that how lucky I am to have these projects ongoing. And I was on my way to the internet cafe to work, and I just felt really, this is what I was made to do. I love immersing myself in the and where I'm designing in my head, making adjustments, having a relationship with the work that informs me of the next version or the next idea. And it takes a certain amount of self-absorption, I guess, and focus and discipline to stay in that, even in a way, kind of a monkdom. It's a 24-hour day experience. Any time when I'm not, when the store isn't open, the lab is working. I love that. I love in that state of mind. Every year. The other goal. Let's see. how that looks. This is really bright. It's called Yellow Gold. And brush. I actually kind of got this for a piece that my friend Ryan is working on.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's too bright. It's not old enough. This would be fine for Ryan. Excellent. So last night I was looking at these. I discovered that file that has all these signature painting images of all the. I don't know if it's all. It's a lot of the paintings that I've done since 2007, when the Sick Jonesy paintings video was made and released. And, you know, honest to goodness, there are paintings in there I totally forgot that I painted. And I'm really glad that I did, but there's you know, I paint it, I take it off the board, I roll it up or stack it up or put it in my storage and on to the next thing, you know, and dang, there's some serious work in there. So when I'm looking at it, I'm like, I'm inspired to bring it forward, you know, and, you know, years ago, about 15 years ago, the night that I did my last reading on Boardwalk, and I knew it was my last reading when I mean, I've done one or two since then, but for the most part, I've been essentially supporting myself as a reader on the Boardwalk using my own deck of cards called the Book of Mirrors that I designed in Key West in '95. And astrology, you know, and this woman came who I knew was a reader herself, and you know, I did whatever I did for her, but she did a reading for me too, you know, and she said, you know, she had this image of a dragon in a cave, in its lair, sitting on top of all this wealth, you know, and what I got from that was that I needed to like share the wealth, you know, and sure enough, the next day I stopped doing readings and I started putting the work out, my full attention. And so yeah, it was at the same time, I recognized that, you know, part of my job in this lifetime is, you know, as a consciousness engineer, you know, one that attempts to help initiate and engineer consciousness for the better. I guess that's one of the things I've come to realize over the past couple of weeks is that's what I'm doing, you know, is attempting to engineer consciousness. And the ways that you do that, like one of the ways that I'm doing that is, you know, I paint a painting that can have an effect on people and affect their consciousness. At the same time, you know, when I make a movie, I'm designing that experience. And I don't know if I said this on camera or whatever. I said this to somebody the other day. I have this understanding of filmmaking. I realize that filmmaking is like all art is collage, because collage is essentially juxtaposition. You're playing with juxtaposition. You're creating context of a specific element by how it's placed against other elements around it, right? And that's collage, and that's painting. You know, that's a writing. That's a film. That's a, you know, anything, dance. It's the context that you juxtapose whatever creative act that you or medium that you're working in. That, you know, how that artistic expression is set against the context of its environment, whether it's a, you know, the intellectual environment, the cultural environment, societal environment, or whatever, or the moment, you know, the historical moment. And interesting. Hi. So one of the things that I love about film is that a film is also a collage, but instead of like a collage painting or you know, two-dimensional representation of an image or series of images placed juxtaposed or whatever, a film is a collage of ideas, where it's a sequential collage, in that you have, you know, one image after another, and as the director or the creator or producer, whatever the heck you want to call it, you're designing the sequence of experience that a person's consciousness is gonna go through to get to the end of your movie, and have you know, whatever takeaway that you hope they'll come away with. And you know, I think if it's done right, you've created a tunnel of experience in a short amount of time that will leave somebody changed forever in a good way. You know, will awaken and trigger positive eddies and spirals of experience that will you know, resound throughout the rest of their life, and then, you know, the life that their life touches, the lives that their life touches, will be, you know, equally affected. Yeah. So anyway, that's what I do. So, and I'm digging it. I'm digging it. I love the whole process. You know, I love, like, with working with my friend Ryan. You know, I love everything that we do. Whether we're just driving to the store together to Home Depot to get some stretchers, or and some wood to make into stretcher bars for our next painting, or you know, we're sitting on, you know, we're building something, or cleaning up a room or whatever. I enjoy the whole process of, like what we were doing the other day. We were moving stuff around in his garage to make space for the collection of the sacred geometry paintings to come and live and get stored there. You know, we're just having fun being in that, moving stuff around, you know, schlepping work around and stuff, and just being in appreciation. So we have a meeting tonight with with someone. It's this person. He's a collector, and he's interested in helping promote our work to galleries and museums and that kind of thing. And we have a dinner meeting, and then a dinner afterwards. After I leave here, sounds pretty exciting. I hope that there's time afterwards for me to get to the Internet Cafe and finish doing some last touches on this documentary. It's exactly 90 minutes long. So I have to admit, I so love this process of creating. I love designing. I love filmmaking. You know, making documentaries. I have an idea for a dramatic movie because there's no other way to tell this story other than to, you know, tell it as a story. And you know, maybe someday I'll be able to tell that story. It's a pretty incredible story. It's about Enoch. The story of Enoch is a really amazing story. To me, anyway.
Hey, you take a selfie of us. Nice hair. I like it.
And if there's somebody out there that would like to make that movie, check it out. Go for it. Save me the trouble. We got 16%. We're going to stop at 10%. Oh yeah, so tomorrow's Saturday. No show tomorrow or Sunday. The next show will be Monday. And it's like that. And tomorrow, today's the 19th, tomorrow's the 20th. If you go to my Facebook page, you'll see that there's a link to an event that I posted 2 or 3 days ago, the Conscious Evolution Day event. And what this is about, I talked about it on the show the other day. I have a really good friend. His name is Rory McQuestion. He is a geologist and a dowser, and he created the first comprehensive map of all the ley lines of England. And he published a book called the key to the secrets of the ancients. And the essence of it is this. Everybody is familiar with, you know, the movie The Secret and the book The Secret that came out a couple years ago. And the essence of that book is, in the movie, was that meme, I should say, was that, you know, we can create our own reality. But when people did that, they discovered that there wasn't enough. It didn't happen all the time. You know, you could think whatever you wanted sometimes, and nothing would happen. And what the key to the secret of the ancients is, you know, the ancients knew about this. That was the essence of the movie The Secret, is the ancients knew the secret, right? So we can create our own reality. The key to the secret of the ancients is that, yes, you can create your own reality, but you can create it 100% of the time if you practice the secret, you know, your meditation on manifestation at the right place and at the right time. The right place is when it is where any two ley lines cross. It's called a node or power spot or whatever. And earth energy lines, wherever any two major earth energy lines cross, two or more, you know, energy lines cross. And then the right time is what Rory discovered. He lived for a long time until recently. He lived for over 10 years within a couple of miles of one of the the largest stone circle in the world, Avebury Stone Circle. In fact, we met just over the hill from Avebury Stone Circle on the autumnal equinox on top of Silbury Hill, which is a man-made cone, a flat-top cone that is about 4,000 years old. And we met on top of that in the middle of this equinox, the autumnal equinox, in the rain, and we hit it off incredibly, and we've stayed in touch ever since. But up until about a year or so ago, he had the opportunity to monitor all the ley lines in his vicinity on a daily basis, sometimes several times a day. And so he was able to tell, you know, what frequency they were on. And he discovered that there are certain moments when all of the ley lines, no matter, they measure ley lines by how wide they are, okay? So the granddaddy, the MACDs of all lines are these, what are called the Emperor Dragon lines. And one of the things he discovered is that all ley lines travel in pairs around the world, and that these earth energy lines, the MACDaddies, the King Dragon, Emperor Dragon ley lines, that there's 3 pairs that go around the world, and those are 50 pace wide, right? Those are the widest ones. And then there's 30 pace wide lines, 20 pace wide lines, 15, I think there's 15, there's definitely 10 pace wide lines, and 5 pace wide lines, 4, 3, 2, 1. And, you know, the thinner they are, the more plentiful, the more numerous there are of those. The wider they are, the more powerful they are. And wherever they cross one another is the power. And, you know, there are some places where several different, pace-wide lines cross. And where those places are very powerful spots. And it's obvious that you know, this knowledge was passed down. At one point, you know, 4,000 years ago, it was common knowledge. But through the Christian era, the only people that knew about it were, you know, certain heads of state, certain government agencies and whatnot, and obviously the Catholic Church. I can get into another time what, you know, how we know that that's who knew and whatnot. But the bottom line is that we know because they built their buildings where these ley lines cross. You know, state houses and parliament houses are all built where these lines cross. So somebody knew something, you know. Anyway, what Rory discovered was that there are certain times of the year when all of the ley lines are resonating at the same frequency, and that when all of the ley lines are resonating at the same frequency, that's the optimum time to do your manifestation meditation at a nodal point. And tomorrow is one of those days. So at sunset, wherever you are, if you go to your, whatever you feel is your power spot, there's likely a ley line that passes through there, or it may actually be a nodal point where two ley lines cross, and make your manifestation meditation. Hello.
Hi. How are you?
Life is good. Just winding up my live stream here. So the way to do this is go to your power spot right at sunset, drop into a state of gratitude, appreciation, and compassion, and then envision the thing that you want to see happen in the world, whatever it is you're trying to manifest. Envision the world having been made better by that thing that you want to see. Okay, so envision it as if it's already happened, right? So try that, and let me know what happens. And we're gonna get out of here. Okay, so we'll see you on Monday. And remember, we love you.